Lance and I grew up together, and since we were little, we always wanted to be in a band, wanted to jam. We met Bruce in junior high, and he was rather serious, and we formed a band like everybody else in junior high wants to.
Definitely knew we wanted to be heavy, and that was the most important thing. When we finally found Jason, our other guitarist, we knew we wanted 2 guitar players, so we got Jason in '89, the fall of '89, and first thing we wanted to do was record a demo tape for our purposes.
We got, I guess, almost $100 together and went into this mobile home / recording studio, and we're all crammed together and basically pulled something off that got some people's attention. I don't know how, but it did.
We started to write some songs and made a demo that we sent off to Kurt Bachman of Believer, and he passed it on to president of REX at the time, and we caught some interest there, and about 6 months later landed a record deal.
When we recorded the first album, we were definitely going for a fast and violent sound, and not much else. We didn't put a whole lot into our songwriting. We just knew what we liked and everything, and I think it came out really well. The production was good, and it was something we were all pleased with.
I think the first album was definitely something we can be proud of. I think that we have grown a lot since our first album, but I really do enjoy it. It's kind of dated now, but I think it represents us very well for the time that we were experiencing and what was going on in our lives during that time.
At the time, we didn't know what we had, but we got the chance to record in a really nice studio, and that did really well, and we went on a tour a year later in summer, and it was about a month long, and it was up the East Coast, and it was a good experience, a nice learning experience for a young band, as we were at the time, and we learned a whole lot about playing and maturing as a band.
In the summer of '92, we went out on our first tour, which was about a month long, and it was basically encompassed the East Coast and Midwest, and it was about 20 shows, and it was pretty cool. We got a good response, and it also helped us to mature and come together as a band and as a unit.
We had just gotten off tour from our big summer tour. There was our first tour. We learned while we were on tour that we had to go in the studio in September. So when we got home off the road, we had roughly about 3 weeks to write 6 songs. We actually rewrote 1 song. And so needless to say, we were very stressed out and frustrated with the time frame that the constraints that we were under. So working in the studio was very intense, very stressful, but I think that minus a couple of factors, it would have been more pleasant. But I'm proud of what came out. It could have been better, but we always have the next one, I guess.
We felt that it was a good project, although the production wasn't everything we wanted it to be, but it turned out pretty well, and it definitely represented what we had evolved into, which was a more brutal, heavier, violent band, but at the same time with some old school feel.
I think we changed a lot. I mean, there's still some old style in our non-existent album, but we, like I said, we were just listening to a lot heavier stuff, like Napalm Death and Carcass and stuff, and we just really wanted to move. We didn't decide to do that. It just that's the way it came out.
Not everybody really liked the change in aggression the vocal style and everything, but we did, and that's basically what was important about the whole project.
Second tour went longer. It went a month longer. We got to go to a lot of different places. We got to go out to California, and it was a great experience. But you know, we didn't lose any money on either one of our tours. You know, so you know, they were learning experiences. You know, kind of like a paid vacation, I suppose.
Our second tour came off a little better than the first as far as organization and things. We got to go out with a tour manager this time and everything, and it was a much longer tour. It was twice as long, 2 months, and started on the West Coast in California and proceeded to cross the country.
We went on our second tour, the non-existent tour, this past summer. Had about 25 dates. And was a really good experience for us, and we had some really great shows. Cornerstone was incredible. The crowd was massive, and then Minneapolis was definitely a plus. The New Union, and you know, the crowd participation is important and valid. It pumps our show to a new level every time we play in front of a wild crowd.
Well, usually from the intro, you know, we don't get halfway through the intro and the kids are like going crazy and stage diving and moshing, and it doesn't stop, you know, after the first song. You know, it's usually throughout the set.
We try to give an example of our music through our actions, and to captivate the audience with visually as well as audibly. And we feel that that's just as important, because in some clubs there's not a really great sound system, or there's, you know, sometimes it's an awful sound system, and to cover up for some of those flaws, we take our level of excitement even higher to captivate the audience so that they'll get into it, and it just forms this cycle. So we feel that each show we can even step a little higher and dig a little deeper to let the crowd, you know, hear and see what they paid for.
Well, the next album, it's in the make right now. It's going to be a lot heavier than non-existent. The whole production is going to be a lot tighter, a lot cleaner. The mix is going to be a whole lot better.
This next album, we definitely know the direction we're going to take as far as the material and the tone and the attitude of it.
Well, our next album is going to be a lot more brutal. The vocals will be different. And I don't know, we're gonna try to combine our old style with the new, you know, try to do something different. Maybe, you know, we like industrial a little bit. Maybe try to mix it up. We're not gonna use samples in every song or anything, you know, but we just try to do something different if that can be done.
We also feel it's important that this style of music is normally one with a really drab message, and we want to give listeners or fans or whatever you want to call them something better, an alternative lifestyle besides some of the garbage that people shove down their listeners' throats. So we feel that it's a plus for us to have this unity and this vision as a band in a Christian aspect, and to give these kids and listeners and fans an alternative to the garbage some of the other bands talk about.